Hey guys, this is Accountant Deja Mary here, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing good debt versus bad debt. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, is there even a such thing as good debt? Well, let's talk about it. We all know that the U.S. economy is structured around the FICO score. Everyone wants good credit, right? Maybe they want good credit to start building a good life for themselves or to acquire new things such as property, like their dream home or a reliable vehicle, or maybe they are looking for a pathway to build generational wealth, which includes having assets to borrow against the things that you own, having property, maybe being able to leave property and finances and resources to your children, or maybe you just want to avoid dishing out insane cash and interest rates and fees, and you want to focus on setting aside more cash to have a nest for emergencies, for retirement. Like, who wants to work the rest of their lives, right? For your kids' college tuition, because you know it's coming and you know how irritated you are that you have to pay back these expensive student loans. So maybe you can set your kids up right now to avoid that distress, right? Maybe their sweet 16 car, maybe their college year. You know, you have all of these activities such as homecoming, you got to buy dresses and tux and get a car and graduation and all of that good stuff, right? Whatever the case may be, in order to build your credit, you are going to have to take out some debt. You just want to be sure that it's good debt. So in today's video, we are going to break down the different kinds of debt and what makes it a good debt versus a bad debt. But before we get into it, if you guys are new to me, I just want to say hey, hi, and welcome. My name is Deja Mary. I am an accountant and debt relief strategist, and I help individuals and small business owners eliminate debt and grow their income to six figures and beyond so that they can experience financial freedom, financial peace, and qualify for whatever they want, whenever they want, with super low payments. So let's talk about it, guys. Good debt versus bad debt. Good debt has the potential to increase your net worth or enhance your life in an important way. Bad debt involves borrowing money to purchase rapidly depreciating assets or only for the purpose of consumption, right? So if you go out and buy that new Chanel bag or you go out and buy those red bottoms, those won't bring you back a return, right? They might make you happy in the long run because you feel good about these things that you own or possess, but they aren't bringing a return on your investment. There are so many different kinds of debt. We have credit card debt, we have medical bills, hospital bills, auto loans, student loans, even payday and personal loans. The reason why we take out debt can vary from one person to another, but the general reason is out of necessity or to provide opportunity. And sometimes it's a little bit of both. So in general, good debt is affordable and can help you move forward in life. That means it has a lower interest rate and can help you build your income and your net worth. So for instance, when I was starting my business, I was broke, guys. I took out a $700 loan from a friend and I paid back $300 interest on that loan, right? He was talking about he had some money sitting around and he wanted to find somewhere where he can put his money into an investment and it bring a high percentage interest rate or high return on investment, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I have this offer where, you know, if you loan me this amount, I can give you back 30% interest. Would 30% interest be good for you on a loan? Well, if you go to the bank and take out a loan, you know, they're giving you much less interest, right? Or I'm sorry, if you just set your money in a savings account, they're giving you much less interest, less than 5%. If you get 5%, that's a whole lot, right? So if he was just to sit that money in a bank account, he would get less than 5%. I'm like, loan it to me and I will make sure that you get back 30%. So to make a long story short, he ended up loaning me the $700. So I borrowed a total of $700. I paid back $300. So I was indebted to him $1,000. That $1,000 grew beyond six figures in just 18 months. And now we're on track to hit multiple six figures annually. Was that a good investment? Was that good debt versus bad debt? Let me know in the comments below. You would be insane to say that it's bad debt because that $1,000 that I borrowed from him literally grew to over six figures in less than 18 months. Another type of good debt might be student loans. With student loans, you typically have lower interest rates, and it can help you get that higher earning job that can make paying off any future debt affordable in your budget. So people are a little antsy about student loans because you might end up paying back thousands, right? You know, I accumulated over $60,000 worth of debt. I know some worth of student loan debt. I know some people that accumulated over six figures worth of student loan debt, and some people, depending on the career that you went after, are at multiple six figures, right? But the goal of student loan debt is typically that you find a job right after school where you can double, triple, quadruple your current income so that you can afford a better lifestyle, right? When I was in school, my second year of my bachelor's degree program, I had already landed a job or a position in the career field that I was going after before I even graduated. So that's the goal of student loans, right? It doesn't always happen that way, but the goal is right after you graduate for you to have a job that doubles, quadruples, you know, that increases your income so that you can afford a better lifestyle. Now let's talk about some bad debt, because bad debt is expensive and it drags down your financial situation. This tends to mean it has high or variable interest rates, and it's especially true if you purchase something that loses value rapidly, such as the latest smartphone, right? The latest iPhone. These iPhones come out every year, and it's a new one every single year. It's a new one every single year. If you break it, you have to pay for another one, right? And it's hard to resell. It's hard to resell because they're coming out with a new and a better version every single year. So you never get your money back. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, if I'm using a cell phone for business, I am kind of getting my money back. Not necessarily, because you're talking about you could use $100 phone and conduct your business, but you're using $1,000 phone that you have to make payments on, right? That's not a good debt. Payday loans, they have interest rates up to 300%. 300%, and can put you in a debt spiral. Now, I know there are some situations where you just can't get around it. You might need a payday loan to get you to the next pay cycle. And if that's the case, then I would highly recommend that you do your research and just try to find payday loans that will work with you. There are some out there. I know Titan Funding Group, Prime Credit Line, Community Choice Credit Line. Those are payday loans that they don't, what is the word that I'm looking for? They don't, oh, what is the word? Predatory lending. They don't practice predatory lending, meaning they don't try to take advantage of you because you're in a position where you need to borrow money. They don't charge you 300% interest rates, right? They charge you an affordable interest rate. They don't charge you bi-weekly, right? There are some payday loans that will say, hey, you borrow $500, but pay us $300 bi-weekly until you pay it off. That's insane. They don't do things like that. They will work with you. So if you are in a position where you just absolutely have to take out a payday loan, do your research first. So you see, there are all sorts of debt, right? There's unsecured debt, secure debt, which means it's attached to property or attached to collateral, revolving debt, installment debt. No matter what type of debt you have, you want to try to find a way to pay it off, and to pay it off aggressively. You don't want to wait or just let debt sit there, because the interest rate builds up over time, and that's almost a whole nother payment for you, or a whole nother few payments, right? Pay your debt off aggressively, because it's either hindering you or robbing you of a secure financial future. So that might mean making regular monthly payments on your debt. Maybe you need to set aside a percentage of your income, maybe 10 to 20% of your income, and say, hey, no matter what I do with my check, this 10% is going to go towards paying off my debt each month. Making a lump sum payment when you get extra cash. So when we get these stimulus payments, that's extra, right? When you get an income tax refund check, going ahead and put in money towards your debt so you can pay it off aggressively and as quickly as possible. Or if you have high interest credit card debt, you may want to use different payoff methods, such as the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method. Now, the debt snowball method is when you list all of your debts from smallest to largest, and you tackle those small ones first. So say I have an AT&T bill for $100, I have an auto finance loan for $20,000, and I have a credit card bill for $5,000. Well, I'm going to immediately pay off that $100 bill, right? Then I'm going to start tackling that 5,000 debt, then I'm going to move up to the 20,000 debt. And when you do it this way, I know I use big numbers in this example, but you're going to have so many smaller debts. You might have a little Comcast bill here, you may have an AT&T bill here, a Sprint bill here, a T-Mobile bill here. Those are going to be your smaller debts. When you pay off those smaller debts, it gives you this sort of win, right? You feel this sense of accomplishment because you're actually paying down your debt, and it actually motivates you and encourages you to keep going. So a lot of people like the debt snowball method in that way, because when you tackle those little ones and get those little ones out the way, now you can focus on the big boys, right? And then that debt avalanche method, which means you are going to list your debts by the highest interest rates. So if, let's say, using the same example, I don't remember what was the $100 bill, but let's say T-Mobile was a $100 bill, and then we had something for $5,000 and we had something for $20,000. So if the $100 bill has an interest rate of 25%, the $5,000 bill has an interest rate of 20%, and the $20,000 bill has an interest rate of 30%, maybe you're going to start tackling that higher interest rate first, because it's going to save you money in the future. If it has a high interest rate, that means that the interest on it is going to grow so quickly that it's gonna get to the balance is going to increase no matter what, right? So by you paying off those high interest debts first, you're going to save thousands of dollars in the long run. So if you want more information about the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method, go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will do a separate video talking more about the two, right? I will talk about, the difference between the two and how you can use these methods to become debt free in 12 months or less. But if your debt feels a little more complicated and out of control, you might want to tap into the help of a nonprofit credit counselor to get some budgeting advice and maybe get on a debt management plan. Many credit unions offer this advice, right, for free. So I know I bank with Michigan First Credit Union in the state of Michigan, and we have Excel where we could call and we can get budgeting advice and get that debt management plan. So maybe your credit union offers the same thing. Go ahead and reach out to your bank, reach out to your credit union, and see if you have that option. Or if you have no disposable income, meaning extra income to pay off your debts each month after you pay all of your bills, if it's just tight for you, maybe you're just breaking even or you're going in a hole each month, you may want to consider Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If you qualify, that means no more payments. You can immediately stop paying all of your creditors, and it can provide you with the clean slate and fresh start that you need to start over and focus on growing your income to 6 figures and beyond, so that you can create financial stability for yourself and your family and never go back to feeling broke again. So if you are unsure of what that process looks like, if it can help you, and if you qualify, I invite you to register for my live webinar tonight, where I will share with you everything you need to know to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy on your own for free, even if you have no legal experience and from anywhere in the U.S. Click the link below to register for this live event if you're interested. And if this video was helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate the support. And until the next video, guys, be blessed.